Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Miguel back again with another video, and today I have the Infinix 030 4G edition. Now this is a phone that's actually not out. I haven't seen any reviews of it. I don't see any information about this online. And a few days back I actually reviewed the 030 5G, which is a sort of an upper mid-range phone. Now the 5G name is kind of like the Pro name, so it's an alternate to that because the 5G devices usually have better specs and they are usually more expensive. But because this is the 4G device, this obviously is a little bit cheaper. It has a little bit of a different specs and features. So I'm going to go ahead and review this, kind of compare both of them and let you guys know whether you should consider buying the 5G device or the 030 4G device. Now looking at the boxes, they both look very identical. If we put them side by side, it's nearly impossible to tell which one is which. Only if you see the 5G logo is where you can actually tell that this is a 5G device. Apart from that, if we look at the boxes, there is one distinct feature over here, which is the 2K 30 FPS as compared to the 5G device, which is a 4K 60 FPS. So that means that the front camera is still going to be pretty good. It's a 50 megapixel camera on both of them, but the 4G device is going to shoot at 2K at 30 FPS, and the 5G device will be shooting in 4K at 60 FPS. Apart from that, there is also a difference in the RAM. So the 5G device comes with 12 gigs of RAM. There's an option to get it in 8 gigs as well. If we take a look at some of the specs over here on the back, so we have 120 Hertz display, and if we compare it to the 5G device, this one has 144 Hertz, which is a little bit higher than the 120 that we see regularly. 144 is not really common, so this is one of the first phones that is a mid-range phone that comes with 144 Hertz. We also have 108 megapixel camera. The main camera is actually the same, but the rest are different. So this one has a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and then we have a 2 megapixel depth camera. This one has a 2 megapixel ultra wide and then also a 2 megapixel depth camera, which honestly is pretty useless. I'm going to focus on the main camera, which is 108 megapixels. We have a 45 watt super fast charger for the 5000 milliampere on this one, and if we compare it to the 5G device, then this one comes with a 68 watt supercharger for again the same 5000 milliampere battery. If we talk about the chip, then they're both based on a 6 nanometer platform, but the 5G device comes with MediaTek's Dymensity 8020, and the 4G device comes with MediaTek's Helio G99, which is a 4G chip. If we go ahead and unbox this, the unboxing experience is pretty much very identical for both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put them side by side just to show you guys. Again, you can see that they're pretty much identical. The colors are a little bit different. So this one is in the, I think, sunset gold. This one is the pearl white. And if we look at some of the details that we have over here, we get silicone cases for both of them, but the silicone case for this one is slightly different. It has an open camera opening on the back, and this one has a little bit of a different, but there it is. Apart from that, if we look at the chargers, then this one obviously with the 5G device coming with a 68 watt charger and the 4G device coming with a 45 watt charger. They're actually even, this one is actually heavier, the 68 watt one, obviously for obvious reasons. And then finally, we also have the USB-A to USB-C cables on both of them. Now taking a look at both of these devices, they are slightly different when it comes to the shape and the design. Not very different, but the camera module on the back is slightly different. And I have to say that I actually like the design of the 4G device even better, because I don't know if you guys can tell that, but there's a sort of a little bit of a design aspect here, and this is the pearl white. It is a matte finish, so it doesn't leave any fingerprints, which is what I like immediately. And then the white paired with the golden accents is a very pretty combination. I think that looks very nice, and I actually like the camera model on this one because it's a little bit rounded off. It looks decent. This one, it looks like it's just been slapped on. Now, not saying that this is a bad looking phone in any way, but I think this one is a little bit more refined. It actually looks better, even though this is supposed to be the cheaper version of both of these phones. If we look at them overall, look at the design, they're pretty much very identical. They weight about the same. They're both curved displays on the front. Both are 6.8-inch devices, AMOLED displays, which have up to 1080p full HD resolution. So they're exactly the same when it comes to that. Design-wise, as I said, they also look pretty much the same. So they're both curved on the back and on the front. The good thing about both of these devices is that even though these are mid-range phones, they come with Gorilla Glass, Corning Gorilla Glass 5, which is very good to see both on the front and the back. Now, if you look at the refresh rate, the big difference is that this one has 144 Hertz when it comes to the refresh rate, and this one has 120 Hertz. Now, I don't really see a big difference if I'm, honest with you guys. I mean, there may be a little bit of a difference when I am scrolling, but apart from that, there's really no big difference there because the gap is very small. So 120 and 144, there's not really a big gap. So as compared to 60 or 90 and then jumping to 120, which is literally twofold. So you don't really get that big of a difference when it comes to that. But yes, because this is the 5G device, it has a better feature. It has 144 Hertz of refresh rate. Not something that you're going to notice, but you can flex on people and tell them that you have 144 Hertz display. When it comes to the performance, then as I mentioned, these are both MediaTek chips, so they're both based on a 6nm platform. Obviously, this one, it has the 4G chip, this one has the 5G chip. This one comes with MediaTek's Dymensity 8020 chip, which is a refresh chip from a couple of years back, and this has the Helio G99. Again, both are very similar, but let's go ahead and kind of do an Antutu test and see the difference when it comes to the numbers. So on the 5G chip, we have 638,000 points, which is pretty decent. Again, this is a decent device, a decent chip with 12 gigs of RAM is going to perform pretty decent. When it comes to the Helio G99, we have 415,000 points when it comes to the Antutu benchmark. Now this is an 8 GB RAM version, so you may see a little bit of a difference there, but obviously you also see the difference in the chip. The RAM is not the only thing that's kind of giving you the lower score, it's also the chip. Nevertheless, it's not bad at all in any way. It's not going to slow you down. You still can play some games like PUBG. Call of Duty is something that I wouldn't recommend you to play because it is going to slow you down on both phones. But nevertheless, it's not really bad for the pricing that it comes with. Again, I should mention, this is not really officially out. This phone is not I haven't even the official Infinix website doesn't have the 4G device listed, and there is no price. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a guess. I know the price of this one, so I'm going to give you guys a ballpark figure of where I think this one is priced at. When it comes to the battery, then both have a 5,000 milliampere battery, the same capacity. Is going to give you the same number of hours, but because of the charger, the 5G device coming with a 68 watt charger, this one will charge from 0 to about 80% in 30 minutes. And the 45 watt charger here is going to take a little bit longer, so it may take to about 45-50 minutes is what it's going to take from 0 to 80%. Nevertheless, pretty decent charging speeds. And again, both are 5,000 milliampere, both have pretty much the same power source when it comes to the chip. They're both equally efficient, slightly different, but not really any much different, or they're not really going to affect the battery life that much. If we talk about the cameras, that's where it kind of gets interesting. So both of them have a main 108 megapixel camera, the 5G device and the 4G device. But when it comes to the other cameras, which is the 13 megapixel ultra wide and the 2 megapixel macro, the 5G device takes the numbers because you have a better camera there. The 4G device also is a triple camera setup, but the ultra wide is a 2 megapixel, and then we also have another 2 megapixel depth sensor. Now those are pretty much useless in my opinion. You're not really going to get much of a quality there when it comes to it. But the main 108 megapixel, I believe it compresses down to provide you around 12 megapixels of actual camera details. On the front as well, you get pretty decent cameras. So you are going to get a 50 megapixel camera on both of them, and they're pretty much similar. I don't see any difference at all. No difference at all. Both of them are pretty much the same. But again, because of the processing power, the 4G device is going to give you 2K video resolution when it comes to making video, and the 5G device is going to give you 4K in 60 FPS. So that is a big difference, and that's only because of the processing power. Apart from that, as I said, the cameras are pretty much identical. Now, which phone should you actually go for? Again, it depends on which one you like aesthetically. I actually really like the 4G device way more than I like the 5G device, and that's because of the color and because of the way that the camera module actually looks like. I think it looks modern, it looks It looks like a newer device, and this is actually a newer device as compared to the 030 5G, because this one came first. If we look at the pricing, then I don't think there's really a lot of or a big difference there. So this one will cost you around $350. If you convert that into dirhams, that's around 1,300 dirhams, and officially it's not really available in the UAE, so you're not going to be able to find it there, not even in the US. This one will cost you around $280 to $300. Again, now this is a guess because there are no official details about this yet. There is no price, but if I had to guess, looking at the specs, I would say this would be around $70 to $50 cheaper than this one, and then this would then come around 1,000 dirhams, somewhere in between that line. 900 to 1,000 dirhams is where you'd be able to find this one. Nevertheless, both are pretty decent when it comes to the pricing, because these are upper mid-range phones. You're getting a lot of phone for the money that you are spending, and again, at the end of the day, it really comes down to personal preference. $50 or 200-300 dirhams is really not a very big difference in my opinion. So if you can, go ahead and buy the 5G device, but if you don't care for the 5G device, and if you're okay with just having one main camera, and you want to save a little bit of money and you don't really care too much about the performance side, then I would say go for the 4G device, especially because it looks much more better. But again, it's down to personal preference. But yeah guys, that's my review on the Infinix 030 5G device and the 4G device. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below about these. Which one would you actually buy for? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.